Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be following Lonely Planet's guide, a walking tour of the Old Quarter in Hanoi.
So here's the route we're going to take. So we were actually staying north of the Old Quarters. We're going to start at the market, we're going to work our way around to the Temple Memorial House, the Puppet Theatre, and then down onto the lake to hopefully see the temple there as well. We are going to go a bit rogue and go off track and go round the bottom of the lake. There are also a couple of museums around here. And then we're going to head up to the cathedral and then end up in Walk.
Let's go. Right, we've just come out of our place, just down here. We're on a very busy street, and we are heading straight to the Don Xuan Market.
Right, so we've arrived at Don Xuan Market.
So it says in the guide that this was originally built by the French in 1889, but it was almost completely destroyed by a fire in 1994. So it must have then been rebuilt. There's almost everything you can think of, from fresh and live produce to cheap clothing, souvenirs and traditional arts and crafts.
I mean, this sounds like Emma's heaven.
Yeah, I was going to say, everything you can think of. Can't wait.
Well, this place is rammed with stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, the guide said that they have everything, and it wasn't wrong. Oh, look.
Oh, my God. What?
That's really random. It looks like it should be outside.
Do you think this was maybe here before and the building was built around it?
Oh, maybe this survived the fire. This place is huge. There's another floor up there as well. So 3 floors, all absolutely packed. I feel like if you did want to come to Vietnam to go shopping, then this would definitely be the place to go.
Yeah.
It's really local, so I feel like the prices are going to be a bit cheaper as well than if you went to like a mall or something. And they do seem to just have everything.
Yeah. Wait, so we're on the upper floor, but this is...
Oh, it's a bridge. There's a lot of material they're selling. How would you choose which vendor to go to when they're all selling very similar stuff? There's still more fabric shops.
Oh, it's like economy rice, it looks like.
The only thing I have noticed is that I can't see prices on things. So I'm assuming this is going to be like your typical Southeast Asian market where you ask how much something is and the price gets decided in that moment, which I don't mind because that does usually give you the opportunity to haggle. Well, I really liked it in there. It's just a shame that we don't have the luggage space or weight to buy anything. If you did and you wanted to have a good old shopping spree, that would be the place to go to.
Oh yeah, there's something for everyone there.
Yeah, definitely.
So next up we have the banhmi temple.
Let's go.
So what I'm loving about this already is that on the map you can see that it's taken us on a clear detour to get to the next temple. But we followed it, and obviously this is why. It's taken us to a really nice little gate which is in the middle of the city, which is quite nice.
So we've arrived at banhmi temple.
I'm assuming it's closed.
Yeah, it looks like we can't go in, which is a shame.
It's said to be the oldest temple in the city. Much of the current structures dates from the 18th century. A shrine to Confucius was added in 1839. Oh, so it's open from 8 to 11 AM and 2 till 5 PM. It's about 1 PM right now, which is a shame. Maybe we can head back at some point, right?
Yeah, or we could come back another day. But for now, I think it's lunchtime.
Yeah, we are absolutely starving.
So we're stopping at Mee Hoan for some banhmi. We've pretty much had banhmi every day since we've been here, and we are absolutely loving it. So we've gone for the banhmi special, which basically has a bit of everything.
It said it has Vietnamese sausage, char siu, egg, obviously your standard pickled vegetables and stuff.
That sausage looks pretty hefty. I feel like you just can't go wrong with banhmi.
Such an easy lunch.
We've had good ones and we've had ones that aren't as good, but even the ones that aren't as good, it's still such a good lunch.
But that's the thing, you get like you get your bread, your meat, veg, everything all in one. Oh, it's perfect.
So we've just come across this place, which we don't think is on the tour, but we thought we'd go and have a look at anyway. It must be a temple, I'm assuming.
hidden away behind. As soon as you get through that gate, you can barely hear all of the
Yeah, it's quite
noise
calm in here, isn't it? It's like you can suddenly hear yourself breathe a little bit.
Part of the tour. It's a nice little site to kind of stumble upon as you're walking around.
I feel like they've clearly made sure that you see other things as you go around as well, and plotted it quite nicely in that sense. Right, we found the next stop on the map. It was a little bit more tricky to find. It's a bit like a treasure hunt, this. So this is a traditional merchant's house, and it's one of Hanoi's best restored properties. It's got rooms set around 2 courtyards and filled with fine furniture. It says that there's high steps between the rooms, which was a traditional design incorporated to stop the flow of bad energy around the property. There are crafts and trinkets for sale here, including silver jewellery, basket work and Vietnamese tea sets. And there's usually a calligrapher or other craftsperson at work too. So we've paid 10,000 each to get in, which isn't much at all. They've given us a little leaflet which explains a little bit more about each of the sections, which is good. Having a house like this lately, you've just got like a little courtyard up here. Okay, so this is the bedroom. Do you know what? It actually feels spongier than it looks.
I was going to say, that doesn't look really comfortable at all.
Do you know what I mean? It's got a bit of like...
A tiny bit. I definitely prefer our mattress over that.
Oh no, this is the bedroom. So maybe this is the bed.
No.
Maybe.
That's rock solid.
No, with a mattress on it, obviously.
How'd they make a mattress back in the day?
I don't know, but it does look like a double bed, doesn't it? What else could it be?
Yeah, it does.
Look at all this detail down here.
I can't believe that people own stuff like this. I wonder how affluent you had to be to...
Yeah, somewhere like that.
Yeah. It's so weird though, looking up this way, you can see all the different layers of houses behind. Obviously this is one of the smallest, and then you have like another one, and it just goes up and up and up.
Yeah, I'd assume that those ones have been built since.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The house was built at the end of the 19th century. Shopkeepers' families lived there successively until 1945, when a family bought it to sell Chinese medicine. In 1954, the government requisitioned the house, and 5 families settled down there until 1999. 1999, that's like quite recent. 5 families in that house. That's...
How'd you do that?
I'm surprised it's not smellier. That was really interesting, actually. I love going in like traditional houses and kind of imagining what it would be like to live there. Like when we went in that traditional house in Malaysia.
Yeah.
It was really interesting to see an original house rather than like apartments and how they are these days.
And it's crazy just to think that 5 people managed to fit in there.
5 families.
5 families, sorry, yeah.
5 families squished in there. Like, it's big, but not for 5 families. Right then, where next?
Next up is the Municipal Water Puppet Theatre, and we should then be at the lake.
Oh, let's go. Right, so we've arrived at the theatre, which is looking very busy. So I don't know whether they're about to go into like a show or something. This is the Tang Water Puppet Theatre, and we've heard they do shows with puppets in the water. You know, the clue's in the title.
It says there's 3 different types of tickets you can buy.
It might be like children, adults and like senior citizens or something. We did say that we might come back and do it one day, but for today we're just doing the walking tour, so we'll stick with that for the moment. We've been recommended this Cafe Din for egg coffee. Joe and Charlotte said it was, I'm pretty sure they said it was the best egg coffee they had.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Our first one was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Let's see if this lives up to the hype. Okay, it's busy in here. So it's very loud in here, but the egg coffees have arrived and they do look glorious.
This looks beautiful.
Oh wow.
So good. It's
really meringue.
Yeah, it's so good.
I feel like it tastes really different to the one we had.
It's a lot thicker because this isn't dripping. The other one was dripping a little bit at least.
It feels very like meringue, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's very nice.
I love how thick it is.
Yeah, I'd recommend coming here. Since it's only a tiny detour from the temple and the municipal theatre, you might as well.
Right, we've made it to the river, which I think looks even nicer in the day than it does at night.
Yeah, you can kind of actually see the island now, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting around to the other side of it.
Yeah. we're here at the 5th destination, which is the Ngoc Song Temple. I've heard there's turtles.
So this says that the emperor was sent a magical sword from heaven, which he used to drive the Chinese from Vietnam. After the war, a giant golden turtle grabbed the sword and disappeared into the depths of the lake. The legend would go that the turtle is still in the lake with the sword. So this is the Ngoc Son Temple, which means Temple of the Jade Mountain. And this is Hanoi's most visited temple, which I guess makes sense considering where it is right in the middle of the lake. So the bridge is constructed in a classical Vietnamese style. The temple is dedicated to General Tran Hung Dao, who defeated the Mongols in the 13th century.
Oh, look at these things. Oh. Is that the size of big old things? If that is.
That's from 2014. So I wonder if that's when they had them here, but they haven't got them here anymore apparently. Like a little boat under there. It looks like a proper, like, what are they called, like a Viking ship, where they've got like the big, do they have dragons on the front or something like that?
Yeah, I know what you mean, but
like a longboat.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like it is, because you can see the sort of edges of the dragon there. Oh, I want to like uncover it.
I know.
Unfortunately, we couldn't film inside the temple. Obviously, we managed to do the outside and stuff, but actually the inside, they said that we couldn't film, which was fair enough.
Yeah, I quite like that because it keeps it very private, and that's what a lot of religions are. They're very private, aren't they? Some of them. So
yeah, it's a bit more sacred, isn't it?
We're now going for a little walk around the lake. It's not on the route in the guide.
Oh, is it not? Oh, right. It just says to like go around the top of the lake.
Yeah,
okay. So we'll just go around it. Yeah. So this wasn't on the itinerary, but we've just sort of diverted away from the lake and have found this, what looks like a monument. I was thinking he might be some kind of teacher because he's got like a mortarboard on his head, is that what it's called? But I'm thinking he looks a bit more like an emperor or something now.
Yeah.
Li Tai To. Right, so tell us about Li Tai To.
He's the founding emperor of the Li dynasty, supposedly.
He is an emperor, which is what I said.
Looks more like a teacher.
I don't know, he's got his little scroll, hasn't he? Yeah, he looks like he's just picked up his bachelor's.
Yeah. I rate his drip though.
It looks really new.
Yeah, it does.
So it looks very well preserved.
We've made it to the prison museum.
This museum focuses on the Vietnamese struggle for independence from France, and it actually is the remains of the former Hao Lo prison, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it was constructed by the French in 1896. Hao Lo prison was one of the largest and fortified prisons in Indochina at that time. So I think it looks like it was built on top of a village. It says here, the Vietnamese people lost forever an ancient village which practiced a time-worn craft. They built the prison over the village and they no longer had the village. So apparently this is the dungeon where they kept the prisoners who broke the rules. They were kept in stock and they had to appointment when they were stood.
Is this the guillotine that they used? Kind of crazy. I think that people were like beheaded here and all these atrocities happened.
This is the underground sewer. On December 24th, 1951, death sentence political prisoners escaped through this underground sewer. 5 of them succeeded and rejoined the resistance base to continue the struggle. Well done.
That is crazy how small that is. Like, how claustrophobic must that be?
Yeah, that's scary. Well, that was interesting.
I think it's just always harrowing to see the conditions that prisoners and stuff had to live in during those times of war.
I think it was good though that you could actually go and sit in the cells and shut the doors, being able to experience exactly what it was like. Not that we can say it was exactly the same, but sitting there on the beds where they sat. When we were sat in that cell, I was feeling a bit like, oh, it like made me feel a bit like scared as it was, Definitely taught me a little bit more about the Vietnam War because I feel like my knowledge and understanding of so much of history is so poor, so I really like coming to places like this and learning about it in the country that you're in, and you can actually, I think, take more of an interest because you're like, wow, yeah, we're actually here in Vietnam. Right, next stop is the cathedral. Right, so we've arrived at the cathedral. So this is St Joseph's Cathedral and it was inaugurated in 1886. Its most noteworthy features are its twin bell towers, elaborate altar and fine stained glass windows. But we have actually already visited the cathedral in our first video in Hanoi, so we're not going to go in, but if you do want to have a little look, then obviously check out that video and you'll be able to see what's inside.
Wow, that is a lot of dogs in there. Look how many there are. So this is a shelter almost, it seems. So these are all abandoned dogs. I guess someone feeds them and gives them shelter, which is quite cute. So we've ended up back at the lake after taking that little detour to the prison, and we've come just to see this little temple tower thing in the middle of the water, which looks really nice in this lighting. Oh, they do like their Zumba here. It's the second group we've seen now. Look at them, they're loving it. I mean, you can't really think of many better places to do it, to be fair. Look at the scenery and the view. So this is the tiny Cathedral Tower, which is on an island in itself at the south end of the lake. It's actually topped with a red star on special occasions, which is the emblem of Hanoi. It's such a pretty little building just in the middle of the lake. Pretty picturesque.
Right, so we're going to end it here on the lake at sunset. I mean, it couldn't be a more perfect scene to end the video. I feel like the lake looked really nice in the day. It looked nice at night, but I've got to say that I think the scenes that we're seeing right now are the best it's looked.
Yeah, with all of the lights on all of the different buildings and stuff, the bridge and everything, it looks so pretty, and then you see the like sunset in the background. It's just perfect.
The reflections into the lake of all the colours of the buildings are just amazing. Today has been a very busy one. I feel absolutely shattered. I feel like we've done so many steps today. I've loved the fact that we've seen so much as well, managed to fit so much into one day.
Let us know if you think the walking tour has been a good one.
Yeah.
We've actually really enjoyed it. Hopefully if you come, you can give it a go yourself.
Yeah.
Or just have a wander around in general, and you just stumble across so much in Hanoi. It's so nice.
So if you're enjoying the Vietnam content, do subscribe because there's plenty more to come, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.